Hard pass ahead to Derek Dorsett, who chips the puck forward, and Schmidt takes control. Here's Ovechkin. Long wrist shot, that went off the knob of the goal stick of Ryan Miller. Wilson moves in for Washington. Chandler Stevenson in his first NHL season. Pass down low, here's Brooks Light on the backhand, and Miller covering the lower part of the net, able to make the save. Back to the Canucks have to regroup on what would have been an offside play. Here's Johansson into the Vancouver zone with a weak shot. Stick save for Miller. Alzner from the other side. Now a rebound chance and a glove save by Miller. As Williams threw it back across to Carl Alzner.
The way he played the first 6 games, that line looked very good in their first 2 or 3 shifts here.
Lucas Sbisa intercepts a puck at center, but then he gives it away, and here's an odd-man rush for Washington. A shot stopped by Miller. Jason Chimera from the face-off dot let it go, and ahead to Brandon Prust. Forced back. Works the puck to Hutton, who sends one ahead. The Canucks are 2-on-1. McCann into the middle. Here's Dorsett in on goal. Stopped by Holtby as he got behind the defense and took the same 4-forward set with Alex Edler on the blue line. Sutter, the Sedins, and Verbata up front. Sutter wins the draw. Edler with an early shot and a glove save by Holtby as the Canucks set that one up in just 2 seconds. Verbata trying to find some room. Now Daniel goes to the front as Henrik steps out on the backhand. That was blocked by Holtby. Daniel gets the puck. Henrik working on Orpik. Verbata helps him out. Blue line feed. Edler with a shot and a stick save by Holtby. Hutton once more. Berchi with a step on the left wing. Sven Berchi tried to drag in a wrist shot. Fanned on it. Now he trips his man. Play goes on. Virtanen with a hard hit in the corner on Chandler Stevenson. Fans enjoying this shift. Here's a centering pass knocked away from McCann. And Washington moves through center. Jay Beagle. Around Edler. In front. They score. Chimera off the pass from Beagle. And it's 1-0 Capitals.
Matt Bartkowski coming back with Jason Chimera, but Beagle with Alex Edler did a nice job. Beagle with Edler all over him. Beagle goes wide, protects the puck, goes wide, and just throws it across. And Bartkowski can't get to Chimera's stick. He's coming back as hard as he can. He's got his stick down, and I think it's Chimera chips it by.
Burakovsky, the second assist on the goal. Here's Ovechkin, ahead for Alzner. Ovechkin ahead of the play, going to the net. Alzner centers, Ovechkin, robbed by Miller. The red light came on, but the puck wasn't in the net. Pass in front, blocks. Verbata gets the puck to the line, not out, but here come the Sedins. Daniel in on the right wing with a wrist shot, stopped by Holtby. And Canucks come back the other way. But the puck is brought back in by Washington. Kuznetsov with a backhander. Miller the save of the blocker. Loose puck at the side, and he grabs it and hangs on for the whistle. Now finds some room to move in. Takes a return feed from Henrik Sedin. Let's go with a shot. There's another one for Verbata that's turned aside by Holtby. Henrik working on Orpik. Henrik wraparound attempt. Verbata jamming the puck. It's in. Radim Verbata has his first. And the game is tied at 1. Capitals might argue it was kicked, and they might have a look.
I don't think it was kicked, John. I think Verbata is just going through the crease. He's jamming at it. I don't think there's any motion. We'll get a better look at it. Here's the shot by Verbata. That's a good save by Holtby. That was just inside the post. Canucks do a good job. Keep it in. Henrik. Back. Bring it to the front of the net. The wraparound try. And there's Verbata. And it's just bouncing around. And it pinballs into the net. You can see it's off the outside of Verbata's skate and into the net. And a good job by Henrik to bring that one back to the net.
But they can't move it through center, and the defense pair has to stay out there. Williams to Backstrom. His shot deflected to the corner. Hansen upends his man. Play goes on. Daniel to Edler. Here's Daniel Sedin with some room. Henrik looking across. Verbata couldn't put it home. Had to stop the pass before shooting it. And now here's Oshie shorthanded. Backstrom going to the net. TJ Oshie centers. Backstrom robbed by Miller coming to his left. Sedin's break back. But Daniels pass right to Oshie. Potentially another chance here. Brooks Light down the left wing with a wrist shot, and Miller, another save. Twice tested shorthanded, and he hangs on into the Vancouver zone. Chimera's out of the box. Canucks 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Here's a chance for McCann, a nice move, and then he shoveled it on goal. Holtby with the stick, able to steer the puck to the corner. Netsson. Now Johansson out of the corner. Sends one across off the skate of Dorsett. Now it's put on goal. Rebound chance as well, and the puck pinballs to the corner. Oshie able to move the puck through center. Now Ovechkin working on Tanev, the 2 number 8. Nice pass back. Oshie to the nail on the backhand, and Miller the save, hangs on for the whistle. Canucks. Puck loose on the side. Edler, good job to hold it in. Henrik Sedin shoots off the shoulder of Holtby. Trying to find some open room on the far side. Pass comes to Henrik. Down to Daniel. Now Verbata. Minute to go on the power play. Daniel to Henrik, who shoots, scores! The captain with a couple of shots on this power play, and the second one is in the net to make it 2-1 Vancouver.
And Radim Verbata and Daniel will both get points on the Henrik Sedin power play goal. There's back to Daniel. Now over to Verbata on his backhand. So he's got no play, throws it back to Daniel, and the one-timer, just the snapshot. Perfect timing by Daniel and Henrik. Braden Holtby gets across, but can't get across fast enough. It's off the side. He thought he had it.
They won't be happy if the Canucks score here. Edler with a shot that grazed the outside of the net. Now Edler in front. Chance for Henrik Sedin. Daniel stopped by Holtby with a right pad. So, pass deflected away. Williams gets it across to Ovechkin. He shoots one around, and waiting is Evgeny Kuznetsov. Spins his way out of traffic. Ovechkin with a blast, and Miller sliding to his right makes the save. Jannik Hansen through center with Henrik Sedin, who takes the drop pass. Henrik looking across. Now leaves for Verbata, and Alster stepped right into Radim Verbata. Flies one into the Washington zone, and Niskanen takes control. Pass ahead, intercepted. Verbata moves back in. Both Sedins with him. Verbata shoots, stopped, rebound, cleared away by Niskanen. Verbata comes back. He hands the puck to Johansson behind the net. Pass to the blue line. Carlson with a wrist shot. And Miller, the save, and then the puck went in. I don't know if Miller put it in with his own glove, trying to snatch that out of the air. And the turnover by Verbata leads to a tying goal for Washington.
Well, this is one of those that's almost automatic that the player hollered for the puck. Radim Verbata, little reverse there to the wrong guy. And the puck standing on end, tipped up in the air. It's off 2 or 3 gloves.
I think it hit the glove of Miller and then the stick of Spiza.
Yes, it hit the thumb of Ryan Miller, and then Lucas Spiza trying to pick it out of the air off his stick and in.
42 of the third, the Capitals tie the game. Here's Jannik Hansen, upended. Sutter forces the puck to the front. Hansen has it back to Bartkowski, and Burrows was able to tip that one down. Hutton quickly to Henrik. His pass blocked, but Hutton gets it through again. Henrik to Verbata, cutting in, centers, Daniel, stopped by Holtby. Started the rush, could have produced the go-ahead goal. Edler couldn't hold that one in. Has to retreat. Got the pass past Ovechkin. Oh, Burrows nailed by Oshie. Tanev to Edler. Onto the right side, Dorsett. He'll hustle after the puck in the corner. Here's Horvat in front. Robbed by Holtby as Dorsett put it right on the tape. And Holtby was there to make the save. So for Tanev, Berchi McCann not playing as the Capitals move in. Ovechkin scores! Alex Ovechkin from that same spot. This time put it in off the crossbar, and the Capitals have a 3-2 lead.
Alex Ovechkin just loves that. Here he is in warm-up. At the face-off dot, we saw him time and time again. Shot now in the game. First period, stopped by Ryan Miller. Same spot. Another one, stopped by Ryan Miller again, third period, same spot. Now here, a long pass off the boards. Canucks get trapped. There's Ovechkin. And that one's tipped by Chris Tanev and goes up and under the bar.
Behind the net for Daniel. Here's Tanev, who's come onto the ice. Edler from the line. Chris Tanev. Bravada shoots. Hope be the save, and he hangs on. Not what the Canucks envisioned in a 5-game homestand. They're 0-2-2 through the first 4.